Great. So we'll call the meeting to order. Thank you for anyone who has been waiting for this meeting to start. The Halifax Water Board meeting for Thursday, June 25th, and it is virtual. So our first item on the agenda, I believe, is 2.1, which is the ratification of in-camera motions, and we had no in-camera motions, so we can move to item 2.2, approval of the order of business and approval of additions and deletions. May I have a motion to approve? Commissioner Purdy, if you could read it out, that would be great. Thank you.
It's item 3.1 deleted until further meeting of the board that I think is going to be scheduled for next week.
Commissioner Deagle-Gammon?
Yes, I could not make that out.
I will, I'll assist. So the item under 3.1, financial reports, will need to be deleted. And there'll be a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Thank you so much. Is there a seconder then to delete that item?
Second.
Commissioner Purdy, thank you. And so now a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
I believe that was Commissioner Purdy, seconded by Commissioner Steele. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Thank you very much. And now we go to 2.3 on our agenda. Approval of the minutes of the regular Halifax Water Board meeting held. That was on Thursday, March 26th.
I move that the minutes of March 26th regular meeting are approved as circulated.
Thank you, Commissioner Steele. A seconder?
Second.
Commissioner Purdy, thank you so much. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion is carried. Thank you. Business arising out of the minutes? Looks like there was none. Consecutive standing committees members and chair ratification, item 2.5. Is there a way to make the agenda that's on our screens a little bit larger, please?
Commissioner Deagle-Gammon, I can assist on 2.5.
Thank you.
So the full board attended the Audit and Finance and Environmental Health and Safety and Enterprise Risk Management Standing Committees of the Halifax Water Board on Friday, June 19th, 2026. In accordance with the governance manual, the board appointed members to the Enterprise Risk Management Standing Committee and the Audit and Finance Standing Committee to serve on an interim basis until successors are appointed. At that meeting, the following motions were moved, seconded, and carried by majority vote, and that was approving the appointments of Commissioner Purdy and Commissioner Deagle-Gammon as members of the Enterprise Risk Management Committee until a successor or successors have been appointed, and appointing Commissioner McPherson to serve as chair of the ERM committee until a successor chair has been appointed. At the Audit and Finance Committee, the motions that were moved, seconded, and carried by majority vote were that the Halifax Water Board approved the appointments of Commissioner Deagle-Gammon, Commissioner Cuddle as members of the Audit and Finance Committee until a successor or successors have been appointed, and the appointment of Commissioner Deagle-Gammon to serve as chair of the Audit and Finance Committee until a successor chair has been appointed. And the motion, therefore, to put on the floor would be that the Halifax Water Board ratify the motions approving the appointments to the Audit and Finance and Enterprise Risk Management Standing Committees and the appointments of the chairs of these respective standing committees.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, we have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Commissioner Purdy for the motion, and the seconded by Commissioner Steele. Thank you so very much. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye for John.
Thank you. Opposed, nay. Hearing none, the motion is carried. Thank you so very much. Item 3.1 has been deleted. We will move to item 4 in our agenda, which is the capital reports. And 4.1, the e-vote motions, ratification.
And Commissioner Thielgren, and I can jump in again.
Thank you.
Again, in accordance with the Halifax Water Governance Manual, the board may conduct business through email or electronic voting. And any motions approved through email or e-voting must be ratified at the next regularly scheduled board meeting to ensure they are formally recorded and validated. Business was conducted via email vote on May 29th, 2026 with Sullivan's Pond Phase 2 Part 2 projected cost update approvals, integrated projects 2026 project approvals, and cross culvert renewal program approvals. And the following motions were moved, seconded, and carried by majority e-vote. That the Halifax Water Board approve additional funding for the Sullivan's Pond Phase 2 Part 2 capital project in the amount of $11,227,000. That the Halifax, item 2, that the Halifax Water Board approve the integrated projects 2026-27 as part of the routine projects program for a total project cost of $15,100,000, and the cross culvert renewal program as part of the routine projects program for a total project cost of $5.482. And then the motion is on the floor is as stated in the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Steele. And a seconder. Seconded it by Commissioner Purdy. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye on behalf of John.
Thank you so very much. Opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Thank you. We'll now move on to item 4.2, which is the Raymond Street and Walker Street infrastructure project. There is a motion on the floor. It does say on the agenda, RG, who is...
I can start. Thank you, Commissioner. I will pass over to, I have Rob Gillis here, Senior Manager of Capital Project Delivery, and he's going to run through the additional funding request for the Raymond Street and Walker Street project.
Could you just introduce yourself? Should there be anybody that is...
Sure. Yes. My name is Josh DeYoung, the Director of Engineering and Capital Infrastructure.
Thank you so much, Josh. Over to you, Rob.
Thank you, Josh, and thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Rob Gillis. I am the Senior Manager, Capital Project Delivery, and we're here to present the request for additional funding for the Raymond Street and Walker Street infrastructure project. So this project was identified some time ago. It's mainly with regards to stormwater infrastructure renewal. We have a severely deteriorated corrugated steel pipe from 1968, so almost 60 years old, that needs to be replaced. The Raymond Street, Walker Street, and Lakeview Drive, or Lakecrest Drive, sorry, is just in Dartmouth, just on the other side of Main Street. For those who aren't aware of that area, we've also have some water main renewal in the area and wastewater main renewal in the area, as well as some sewer laterals. We've decided to execute the project in 2 phases. Phase 1 began in 2025 and is currently under construction and will be ending shortly in July. And then we plan to execute phase 2 shortly after that. We've tendered both phases. Both tender results are higher than what we anticipated in the cost estimate that we executed back in 2024, or prepared in 2024. So we are now seeking approval for $4,014,000 in additional funding to finish the remaining phase of the project and bring the infrastructure back up to Halifax Water standards.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. We'll have the motion on the floor, and then any questions will be asked of Rob. So, Commissioner Steele.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I'll put the motion on the floor. I move that the Halifax Water Board approve additional funding in the amount of $4,014,000 for the Raymond Street and Walker Street Infrastructure Project for a revised total project cost estimate of $11,070,000. This includes the previous Halifax Water Board approved project funding of $7,053,000.
Thank you. And a seconder, please. Commissioner Purdy. Please go ahead with your question, Commissioner Steele.
Thank you, Chair. My question is for Rob around the additional costs. I know that the funding was approved in 2024. The $4 million cost increase is a fairly significant cost increase. Does most of this relate to inflationary pressures, or does it relate to perhaps the depth of the work, the extent of the work is broader than originally expected? I'm just curious.
Commissioner Steele, I would say it's probably both.
Okay.
We do obviously in inflational pressures according from 2024 to 2025 and into 2026. We did have to change the scope of the project by approximately $500,000 with the existing phase 1 project to adjust the profile of the street. But really it's the big drivers are market pressures from 24 to now. And both phases were tendered publicly, so they are low bid results. So the most competitive.
Okay, thank you.
Seeing no other questions for Rob, I might have one. In terms of this increase of the $4 million, is it within our sort of our budget scope? Is this something that we have to go back to the RAB board in terms of any additional approvals?
Yes, it will, Madam Chair. We will have to seek Nova Scotia Regulatory and Appeals Board approval following approval by the Halifax Water Board here.
Okay. And then you would have to provide a justification within that request.
That is correct.
Thank you. Are there any other questions, Councillor or Commissioner Purdy?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, so Rob, just a question on like the overrun of the projects that we're seeing. Like, is this something that we can expect now because of the kind of the instability of the economy and the use of projects that were approved a couple of years ago? Can we just assume there's gonna be a cost overrun coming back to us?
I think we're seeing more and more of that, Commissioner Purdy, sorry. The market pressures, the resources, the number of contractors that are out there and the amount of work that's out there right now. We're seeing inflation associated with fuel costs, trade issues type things, but yeah, it's difficult to predict, and our cost estimates from our consultants aren't always a representative of what the actual cost would be when we go to tender.
And depending on the amount of the cost increase, you'll have to go back to the RAB each time for more permission. Is that kind of the process?
That is correct. We have a limit of approval from the RAB where it's for us it's typically 250,000 or 5% increases do have to go back to the Regulatory Appeals Board for approval.
And what's the timeline of that approval process generally?
That approval process could take anywhere from 30 days to 90 days or 100 days. Maybe perhaps Josh Young could input there.
Yeah, sure, Rob. No, I think you're accurate. I would tend to think that where this one is looking for additional funding, provided we justify the increase and the need for the project. We've already taken this to them from a need for the project perspective with the initial application. So now it's really just explaining that the work is still required and that we went through the public procurement process to determine that we've received a competitive price. So typically the additional funding requests can move a little more quickly because we've been in front of them initially with the original application, provided we can justify the cost and the need of the project.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Purdy. Seeing no other questions for Rob, we call for the question.
Question.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion is carried. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rob. Looks like you're up again with item 4.3, Majestic Pump Station Upgrades, the capital project approval.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to introduce Olivia Underhill. She is the project manager for the Majestic Pump Station upgrades. So I'll turn it over to Olivia. She has a
Welcome,
presentation as
Olivia.
well for those manning the slides.
Morning, everyone. My name is Olivia Underhill, and I'm a junior project engineer in the infrastructure engineering team under capital project delivery. But yeah, I do have some slides prepared, so I'll just wait for those there. Perfect. Yeah, so I'm going to be talking about the Majestic Avenue pump station upgrades and force main twinning project. Next slide, please. So this project is located at 49 Majestic Avenue in Beaverbank, Nova Scotia, and it is the downstream station of several pump stations in the area, and it's the last station before the flows transfer to the gravity system. A recent engineering analysis by CBCL was done on several pump stations in the area and identified that the Majestic pump station has several deficiencies due to its single force main, which lacks adequate peak flow capacity, maintenance redundancy, and has significant sludge accumulation on the inside of the force main. So most notably, though, the single force main does not align with the Halifax Water design specifications. So an additional analysis was also done on the pump stations by CBCL for the gentle density analysis. And this analysis also confirmed that the existing force main cannot support future design flows, reinforcing the need for major upgrades at the station. Next slide, please. So Halifax Water has procured Design Point Engineering through the public procurement process to design these improvements for the pump station, which will bring the facility to align with a medium-sized pump station as per the Halifax Water specifications. This project includes a new wet well and valve chamber, as well as replacing the existing pumps with four 70 horsepower pumps and the associated electrical upgrades with that. For the force mains, dual 350 millimeter diameter force mains will be installed, and we will be keeping the existing 250 millimeter force main as well. So this will provide some operational flexibility and also allow the station to have flow capacity adjustments for the future flows. And lastly, there's a small storm scope of work, which will be the replacement of a cross culvert to a 1050 mil culvert, as well as a 750 mil culvert on an adjacent street. These will be replaced to accommodate the construction activities at this pump station. And these culverts also are on the cross culvert renewal program, so we'll also be tackling those while we're in the area. Next slide, please. So to conclude, our recommendation is that the Halifax Water Board approve funding in the amount of $8,160,000 for the Majestic Avenue pump station upgrades and force main twinning.
Thank you very much. Olivia, right?
Yes. Yes.
Commissioners, someone like to put a motion on the floor, and then we can proceed with any questions. Commissioner Steele, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I move that the Halifax Water Board approve funding of $8,160,000 for the Majestic Avenue PS upgrade and force main twinning project.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Purdy. The motion is, as stated, is not exactly the same as what is the language in our agenda.
I can reread
although it
that,
is the
Counselor.
same.
Yes.
Pardon?
I can reread it if you would like.
I think that would be acceptable. Thank you, Commissioner Steele.
Okay, thank you. I move that the Halifax Water Board approve the Majestic Avenue pump station upgrades and force main twinning project for a total project cost estimate of $8,160,000, including net HST.
Thank you, Commissioner Steele. Seconded by Commissioner Purdy. Any questions for Olivia or Rob? No, seeing no questions. We'll call for the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
John,
John said aye.
thank you. Any opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you so very much, everyone. Thank you, Olivia. Our next item on the agenda is item 5.1, the audited pension statements for the year ending December 31st, 2025. And we have Louis DeMont. Louis.
Thank you very much, Louis DeMont, and I'm the CFO for Halifax Water. I have a very short presentation on the financial statements. Just wanted to say the pension statements have been audited by our auditor, Doan Grant Thornton. They have indicated, subject to the final tasks that they have as part of their audit program, that they are prepared to issue an unqualified audit report, which is very good. If you can go to the next slide, please.
Is there a way to make this a little bit bigger in case anyone is online and trying to see? Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
So what we have here is the summary of our statement of financial position for the pension plan. We have assets at the end of the year of almost $238 million. Those assets are managed by the HRM Pension Committee, and as part of the overall assets in the HRM Master Trust, the Halifax Water's component of that Master Trust is in the range of 6.69% of the total assets they manage. So we're a small part of a very big pool, which is good for us. We also have the pension obligations of approximately $185 million. That's the present value of all the future benefits that the plan is expected to pay out into the future. And those increases would have impacted by the number of new employees, any wage changes during the course of the year, and the change in our benefits that were negotiated last year or discussed last year, from the best average 7 years back to the best average 5 years. So that has impacted the increase in those pension obligations. Pleased to report that we continue to have a very healthy surplus in the plan of approximately $53 million, with a funded position of 129%. And if you can go to the next slide, please. This represents the change in the assets from year to year. So the revenues are primarily the increase in the fair market value of our assets, which increased by approximately $14 million. The remainder, it would have been interest income or income on those investments that are held, to make an increase in revenue of approximately $19.4 million. Our expenses here are primarily pensions and pay of approximately $6 million, and any payments that are made out of the plan related to terminations during the year. The contributions that are here are the employee and employer contributions that we are required to make. I will note that, as was approved by the trustees, for a pension holiday starting in January 1st, 2026. So the impact of that is not yet shown here, but it will be shown in the results in the next fiscal year. All in all, this explains the increase of $19.7 million over in our benefits year over year, in the assets available for benefits year over year. And with that, there's just one more short slide. So happy to report, as I did, 129% is the current surplus. The returns on the trust continue to be favorable. And as a result of this status, our next actuarial valuation will only be required in January 1st, 2028. And with that, both Heather and I are here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you so very much, Louis. Would a commissioner like to put the motion on the floor, and then we'll engage in any questions?
Sure, I can go ahead, Commissioner Daigle Gammon. I
Thank you.
move that the Halifax Water Board approve the financial statements of the Halifax Regional Water Commission employees' pension for the year ended December 31, 2025.
Second.
Seconder, Commissioner Steele, thank you so very, Commissioner Purdy, thank you so very much. Any questions for Louis? No, seeing, oh, Commissioner Steele?
Maybe I'll just ask a question. Essentially, what our chief financial officer is telling us is that we're in good shape on the pension and we need to carry on. Louis, would that be an accurate characterization?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to drill it down to the essential. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Steele. Seeing no other questions, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
John?
Aye from John.
Thank you so very much. We're going to make sure that we've got everyone voted in here. Although any opposed, so the motion is carried. Thank you. We now move on to other business. 6.1 is the corporate balance scorecard for 25-26. And Kendra McKenzie will speak to this.
Yes, thank you very much. Kendra McKenzie, General Manager at Halifax Water. Just want to run through a snapshot of the results from our corporate balance scorecard for the year 25-26. And so if we can go to the next slide, please. A number of years ago, we set up a suite of metrics to measure our success in our operations throughout the fiscal years. And so each year we review the metrics that are set and the targets, and those are approved by this board annually. And then we report in on the results. And the scorecard is structured in a way that if there is certain scores and certain gateways met, there may be an organizational award presented to the employees for the work. So today I want to review the results of last year and mention that we have 32 measures that we marked ourselves against. We met 17 of those. And in those 32, 2 of them are what we refer to as gateway indicators. And it's mandatory that if we are to consider the award, financial award to our employees, that we have to meet both of those gateway indicators. This year, unfortunately, we did not meet our lost time incident safety gateway, and we can speak to that more if there are questions. I do want to highlight, and you can see in the full report, there were a few that we introduced this year, and we were close. And in some cases, we did better than we have historically. Certain ones come to mind are the Employee Engagement Index, for example. It's probably one of the highest scores that we ever achieved, but we did not meet the metric that we had set for ourselves or the target. So just wanted to highlight that a number of these we were close, but each year we challenge ourselves to do a little bit better. So there's a list there of the ones that we did not meet. And then if I go to the next slide, it provides the overview of how the program is structured. So as I mentioned, we have 2 gateways that have to be met in order for the award to be considered. After we determine whether or not those 2 gateways are achieved, then we review against 12 organizational indicators. And there needs to be a minimum score achieved of 7 of the 12 in order to award the financial award. And we'll go to the next slide. It has an overview of what our score was. So we did meet the minimum score of 7. And we met the financial gateway indicator, adherence with our water safety plan, making sure that the primary disinfection of the water supplies has been met, water loss control, so our reduction of our water losses in the system was achieved, the percentage of the time that our GIS and CityWorks were available, which are key tools for our staff to do their work in the field. We met our energy management reduction that we set for our capital projects. And then also our biosolids handling target was achieved. So those are a subset of the 32 that have a good cross-reference or cross indicators of the operations of the utility. And if we can go to the next slide. And this just provides the outline of should we be successful in achieving both of the gateways. Sorry, on the next slide, maybe.
Excellent.
It just gives a breakout of how the financial award would be calculated and determined for staff. And so then we go to the recommendation, as noted, where we're not looking at, we didn't make the 2 gateways. We're just putting the results forward in the report for approval of the board for this year.
Thank you, Kenda. We have a commissioner now to put this motion on the floor and then have the discussion. Commissioner Purdy.
Yes, I can do that. Thank you. I move that the Halifax Water Board approve the results of the corporate balance scorecard results for the 25-26 fiscal year.
And the seconder, please. Commissioner Steele. Thank you. Any questions for Kenda? Oh, Commissioner Steele.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Daigle-Gammon. I do have a question around the capital spend in the fiscal year, and it looks like that is one of the areas where we did not meet. Can you just speak to the explanation for that, please?
Yes, and I may ask Josh DeYoung to speak to that one.
Sure, thank you. Thank you for the question, Commissioner. So related to the capital spend, I think it's driven by a few large projects that we've been working through procurement processes on. Namely would be our biosolids project, our Mill Cove treatment plant upgrades, and some of our water supply enhancement program projects that had budgets allocated, and then working through some of the required phases and processes to get those before our regulator has taken longer than anticipated. So as a result, the spend hasn't been realized in the year anticipated. So what we're doing now is looking at as we develop the next rate application, but as well as the capital budgeting process into the future, it's trying to right size some of the expectations on how long it takes to get through various phases and trying to build that into the projects so that we have a bit more of a more confident baseline to begin with, and really how we can improve the capital budgeting and planning process.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Josh. Can you just speak to some of the regulatory processes that you have to go through, whether it's the Nova Scotia Environment and Climate Change, the Regulatory Appeals Board, just the back and forth, just to provide an appreciation of why some of these unanticipated delays may have been introduced?
Sure. I think from a environmental perspective, we have agencies such as NSE or DFO, depending on the nature of the work. Sometimes in advance, we can anticipate which approvals will be required, but oftentimes it takes an application of the project or the design to identify which permitting triggers will be met. So oftentimes related to work in water courses, culvert work, that sort of thing, sometimes you find out specifically which path you have to go down once you make an application. So we do our best to anticipate where we're headed, but sometimes we have to adapt once the submission is made. From a financial regulatory perspective, we operate under the Nova Scotia Regulatory and Appeals Board, where we do have a public utilities handbook that determines which financial thresholds require us to seek funding. At this time, we have any capital investment of $1 million or more does have to go through a regulatory process with the RAB. We're working towards better understanding the type of process that we anticipate with our capital projects. There are, I would call a regular proceeding would be a typical application with the RAB. There are no specific dollar amounts associated with the regular application. However, that tends to be rounds of questioning, project submission, rounds of questioning, and then ultimately a decision is given. The larger projects tend to, they can go through different type of proceeding. One being a more paper process, but that can be, it allows a more public and a more transparent aspect to the approval. But in doing so, obviously creates a lengthier schedule to get that decision. And then the third process would be one that generates an oral or a public hearing with the regulator. And some of these bigger projects are likely to go down that route, similar to our Burnside Operations Center. So I think we're just trying to make sure that for those specific larger projects, we know the volume of effort and the concerns, and we're trying to predict that in advance so that we do put our best application forward and really justifying the spend to not just the regulator, but to our customers.
Thank you. That's helpful. Chair, if I may ask just one quick final question on this.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Josh, how long has that cap of $1 million been there? That seems like a fairly low a fairly low cap for capital projects. When was that number was established? Do you have a sense of that date?
I believe it was in the mid 2010s. I don't know the exact date, but I feel like it was 2013 or 14 possibly, but I defer to anyone else on the call that might know.
We've had quite a bit of inflation since then. Okay.
I believe it was 2019.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, so no other questions. The motion is on the floor. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye from John.
Thank you. Opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kenda. Our next item on the agenda is the annual board compensation policy review. And it looks like our Leanna, is that you?
Yes.
Wonderful.
So the board compensation policy requires the board to review the policy on an annual basis. Any adjustments or amendments to the policy, including the annual honorarium increase of 1.75%, requires board approval. So this is an opportunity for the board to discuss the policy and determine if there are any adjustments or amendments required.
Thank you very much. Are there any discussion from commissioners? Commissioner Steele.
Thank you, Chair. I put my hand up. I wanted to know if you would like me to put a motion on the floor around this, or would you like the discussion first?
A motion is acceptable. Thank you.
Okay. I move that the Halifax Water Board has reviewed the board compensation policy and agrees to forego the increase in the annual honorarium for commissioners as more particularly set out in the policy for the 2026 calendar year.
Ms. Seconder, Commissioner Purdy, thank you. Yes, shall we entertain a discussion? Any comments?
Mike?
Chair McPherson, is there a comment there?
So Chair McPherson is wanting to convey that he agrees with the motion as put on the floor and that it forgoes the increase this year.
Thank you very much.
And apologies for the technical difficulties.
Technology, when it works, is great.
Yes.
I see no other, Commissioner Steele.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to clarify that it's the private members of the board that are compensated for the time on the board, and this motion came forward given the financial situation that Halifax Water finds itself in, that it was felt that now was not a good time to accept this increase that would ordinarily be put in place without discussion. It's part of the increase would have come into effect if we didn't have a motion to proactively prevent it from coming in, being brought into place. So I just wanted to provide clarity around the motion.
Thank you so very much, Commissioner Steele. Any other comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye from John.
Opposed, nay. Hearing none, that motion is also carried. Thank you so very much. Now looking here, it looks like we can now ask for a motion to adjourn. Prior to doing that, I would like to share our appreciation to all of our Halifax Water staff who are on this virtual meeting with us today, and for all of their hard work. So our motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Commissioner Steele, we are adjourned at 11:52 a.m. Thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Sure.
Thank you, everyone.